Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage at Bannister Hyundai. Today we are looking at the 2024 redesigned Sonata. Now this is the preferred trend package. It's actually the lowest package here in Canada, the lowest priced version of the Sonata that you can get. And it is very, very loaded in features. Now, first off, I'm going to quickly apologize for the condition of the vehicle. It's brand new. It's a little dusty and dirty. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time with this car. I need to get it out of here because it's a dealer trade and they're about to come and pick it up. It's the only Sonata that we have on the lot and probably the only one we're going to have for a long time. So I wanted to quickly jump in and make this video. So what I want to do today, just talk about the features on the Sonata Preferred Trend, show you exactly what it comes with, and show you some of the new things that it comes with that just didn't come with before. A lot of which it did, some of which it doesn't. So anyway, starting at the front of the vehicle, you can see we have the forward-facing radar system right there. And this cool redesigned front end, of course, with this neat little light bar that goes all the way across. That is a combination of LED light bar just for some cool looks and daytime running lights when the headlights are off. And it actually is flickering right now in camera, but it doesn't do that in real life. On the sides, of course, you can see we've got the LED LED high beams and headlights. They're reflector style in this one. And your turn signals are right here. And up in the window, we have the forward-facing radar, or forward-facing camera for autonomous emergency braking. Coming around the side, we've got a beautiful set of wheels, actually. So these are Pirelli P0 tires wrapped around some aluminum alloy wheels. They're an 18-inch, so 235/45 18-inch wheels. Aluminum alloy, and it looks pretty sporty. I quite like it. Coming to the side here, we have a blind spot monitor in the mirror. We have the proximity entry button, and there's a little light in behind the handle there that comes on when you approach the vehicle. All right, coming further around to the back, I really like the back of this car. Check out that cool running light, or not running light, I guess it is a running light. That, of course, is the LED light bar that goes across the back there. Looks super cool. The brake lights light up right here, and the turn signals are right here. That looks really cool as well. Also, you'll notice we have the power trunk, so that opens up all the way, which is quite nice. It is manually closing, so you grab the little handle there. They finally put the handle on the inside, but it opens up all the way, which is quite nice. Inside, massive trunk, lots of storage space in here. It does come with a tire mobility kit, so no spare tire on this one, just a bunch of storage, but enough room for a spare tire should you wish. You can add one to it. We do, of course, have the 60/40 split rear bench, as you can see there. This trim does not have the subwoofer in the back here, so that's something to keep in mind. But there's the handles for the split folding rear bench. Closing that, you'll notice we have the button right here for the trunk, and then right next to that is the camera, of course. What do you guys think of this back end? I think it looks pretty cool. It's very, very different than the outgoing model, so pretty nice look. Anyway, let's have a look in the back here. So we do have the 2-button press in order to unlock all the doors, and 1-button press to unlock just the driver's door. As far as space, oodles of space back here. It's a very, very big interior. Now they've kind of carried over some of the ideas from the Ioniq lineup. For instance, the door handle is massive, stretching right from about there all the way back to there. So it's a very, very large door handle. Small bottle holder back here. We have nice solid plastic seat backs. A couple of backlit USB ports down here. Sorry about the sunlight, guys. A couple of backlit USB ports there, and a center cup holder armrest. A little tricky to fold down, though, because I didn't put a little handle in there. It's interesting. Anyway, yeah, comfortable seats. Headroom is quite good. I got about maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches above my head. I can stick my feet underneath the front seat there quite easily. And it's a nice flat floor. Now, there is, of course, a hump in the middle here. That's just for the exhaust system towards the back. So, yeah. It's a reasonable space back here. Now, this front seat is actually quite far back, so I still have some room in front of my knees, but yeah, you're going to see when we get into the front seat just how much space there is there. So let's jump in the front. All right, before I jump in, just want to point out a few things. So we do have the memory seating and mirrors on the doors here. Of course, your typical power windows, locks, mirrors, everything there. The driver seat itself is power, of course. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-way adjustable power with that tilt and the lower back support. The passenger side is actually subsequently also power adjustable. However, it is only 8-way power with no lower back support. But honestly, the back support in these chairs is already quite good, so you don't really need to extend it much. Now, remember what I said about legroom? Check this out. So the seat, I haven't moved the seat. It's still in the same place, and I'm actually too far from, I mean, I can reach the pedals, but this is too far. I would need to go forward a bit. But look at how stretched out I can actually stretch my leg out straight. There is a ton of room in here. So I'm going to move this forward a bit here to get a little bit more comfortable. And then tilt that seat up as well, because I'm 6'2", so I want to sort of not lay back in the seat, but probably a bit more than some people anyway. So there we go, about there. It is a tilt and telescopic steering wheel as well, and wow, that actually, there's a lot of travel in that telescoping steering wheel, so that's quite nice. Behind the steering wheel, of course, is those two beautiful 12-inch screens. Now, the instrument cluster is 12-inch, as is the infotainment system, but we're going to talk about that in a bit. All right, now above my head, we have a huge panoramic sunroof, which is quite nice. Now, that hasn't changed. I mean, that's been in the Sonata for a while now, but that's really nice. We can also, of course, slide that sunroof back. Let's see how far it goes. So about there. So it opens up about halfway in the front. And we can also tilt that sunroof upwards. So if we press the button up, there we go, it tilts up. So sunroof really hasn't changed. It's about the same as the old one. And of course we have the buttons here for your climate control, for your calling for roadside assistance and SOS emergency assistance. And of course, each one of these are map lights. You got interior lighting, and then the interior lights when the doors open. Each one of the visors also slides out and has a mirror and a light as well. So nothing's changed there. A lot, however, has changed in the dashboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the far left side here, and I'm going to run through all the different buttons. Got your dimmer switch here, got your power e-brake there, pop the trunk there, traction and stability control. On the stock, we have our one-touch turn signal, of course, which you can set to 3, 5, or 7 flashes. And then we also have automatic headlights and automatic high beams. And on the right side, we have just regular windshield washer wiper stock. Nothing too special there. On the steering wheel, all of the controls here are for drive. So you've got these two which control that center computer. And then these three are for your cruise control. So you have cruise control on and set. And then, of course, this is set as well as increase, decrease your speed, pause and resume. And then this one here adjusts the distance between you and the car in front of you. This is lane keep assist. So this would be lane centering. Now, if you have a look at the instrument cluster here, you can see two icons. One is for lane keep assistance. The other one's for lane centering. So pressing this button turns on and off the lane centering. If I hold the button down, you can actually turn off lane keep assist and lane departure warning all in one foul stroke just by holding that button down and then pressing it for the lane keep assist, or lane centering system, as I mentioned. So one button to control two different things. Press and release is lane centering, hold is for lane keep. Now, what's nice about this system is that you can use it at any time. You don't have to be on cruise control in order to use the lane centering system. You can just drive around, use the gas and brake the way you normally would, and then use the lane centering to keep your position in the lines. All right, getting back to the steering wheel here. So we're going to cover these two buttons in a bit because, as I mentioned, they control that center screen. Right on this side, you have all the controls for your multimedia system. So these things only control that screen. This is the new, CCNC or whatever they call operating system. So we're going to get to that in a bit as well. But basically, we have our mode, which changes where music comes from. So that's your music source selection. This is up and down is for your next and previous preset or next previous track, or if you set it up to do so, next previous scanned radio station. This one here is also customizable, so if you press that once, it'll open up the settings for that. We usually just set that to the home screen, but you can change what that function does. This one here is your voice recognition when you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which, by the way, is wireless on this vehicle. However, if you want a system that is far more capable and still wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, check out the link in the description below for my Link iFun GT6 AI box. It's an awesome product. Get 15% off with my link. Basically, it allows you to play Netflix movies, shows, YouTube video, Prime Video, and basically anything you can think of to do on Android. You can run full Android on this screen with that little box. It's super cool. Check the description below for that. But anyway, so this will basically access the Google Assistant or Siri Assistant, assuming you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay functional and working up on that screen. This one right here, of course, is your volume control. Now, you can also press that to mute playback. So if you're listening to music, that's mute and volume up, volume down. And then this one is just to answer phone calls. So pretty simple. On the back of the steering wheel, you can see we've got paddles. This is for gearing up. This one is for gearing down. Coming over to the center console, we can see we have a little button right there to open up the center console. Nothing to talk about there, just a nice little storage space. Little continuation of the console here, just a nice place to put your arm. Because there's no shifter here, there's lots of extra storage space here. The shifter is actually behind the steering wheel. You simply just roll this all the way forwards, there's neutral and drive, and then roll it all the way back for neutral and reverse. And then when you want to, you can press P for park. And by the way, you can also notice that when I put it into reverse, the mirrors actually tilt down. If you're wondering how to disable that, all you got to do is put the mirror switch in the center. There we go. Mirror just tilted back up, in case you're wondering. So anyway, so we're going to put it back into park. What I really like about this system is that if you are in drive or reverse and you take your seatbelt off and open the door, it quickly snaps back into park for you. If you shut the car off at any time, it quickly goes back into park for you as well, if you forget to do so. All right, looking at the center console again, you can see we've got a couple cup holders here, 2 different sizes, so small cup, big cup. Nice little storage spot for a cell phone here. No wireless charger in this level, but nice amount of storage here. If you're looking for a wireless charging pad, check them out on Amazon. They're a dime a dozen. You get them, you plug it into the USB-C port here, and boom, you got wireless charging. Right beside that, you have a 12-volt power outlet, and on this side, you have the USB port, which connects directly to this screen, so you can use that for software updates, playing music from a flash drive, or connecting wired to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then this right here allows you to cycle this plug-in between just charging and communicating with the screen. So that's what that little button is for there. All right, right above that is the climate control system. So we have dual zone automatic climate control. Currently it's synced. So if I adjust this versus this, you can see we've got 2 different temperatures here. Really like how they've done this actually, kind of like GM. They've put the actual temperature numbers within the buttons. What's nice though is that there are 3 levels of automatic. And instead of starting at 3 and going down to 1, now they start at 1 and go up to 3. So they've changed the direction of the cycling of different levels, which is interesting. But nice that you can increase or decrease the aggressiveness of the automatic system. You'll also notice here, right here, we have ventilated seats in this lowest trim level Sonata, which is pretty crazy that you have ventilated seats, and of course heated seats on the opposite side there, and of course touch controls to do that. And then right here we've got the off button to shut the entire climate control off. We have our AC to turn on the AC, but keep in mind when it's in auto, it's going to control the AC and the heat all by itself anyway. The recirculate, which will automatically come on if you use the windshield washer fluid, as you can see there, which is nice. We have on this side, of course, the passenger side heated and ventilated seat. Above that, we have all the controls here for your stereo. So still got some hard controls. You got a knob here for volume and a knob for tuning. Home, map, search, media, those things automatically kind of do things up here. So I'm going to give you an example. If I press the map button, that's the same as pressing the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay map, because there is no built-in map here. So when you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connected, you press that map button, it'll pop their map up onto the screen. If I hit search, you'll notice what it does is it comes up saying, okay, you can search. Now it's going to search for things in the setup, your contacts, or things in your media. So if you're looking for a specific song title or something like that, you can do that with that search button. That's pretty cool. Right up here, pressing that's a search filter. So you can actually change what you want it to search within. And then right beside that is a media button, which will take you to the screen where you can choose what sort of media playback you want. So Bluetooth audio, FM, Sirius XM. Obviously, you can add AM music in there as well, but it is right there. And then you got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sounds of Nature. Let's have a look at the Sounds of Nature. So we have Lively Forest, Sailing Ship, City at Dawn, Experience Universe. So nothing's really changing here. These are all basically the same ones. Let's see what the warmth in winter is here. So that's, it's just a fire. like other models, the Sounds of Nature do have some music playing in the background, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, we have our seek and track. That's for next or previous FM station or next previous song. Another customizable button, which I like to set up for phone projections, so we'll do that now. Basically what that means is when you press that, it'll take you into Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And then the setup button here, which takes us to the entire setup screen, which we're going to get back to in a bit. But before we talk about this, let's talk about the center of the instrument cluster here. So I'm going to manipulate everything on the center here using, turn up the brightness, yep, it's already up, using these two buttons. So currently we're on current trip. So if I press the top button of those two, so this one here, it's going to cycle between the three menus along the top there. So we have kind of our trip computer, our drive info, and then our tire pressure monitor. Now starting, it's not really drive info, isn't it? It's somewhat safety info, like lane keep assist and whatnot. So starting with this one here, our current trip, if I use the little roller wheel, below that, I can go between the different things. I'm going to start at the top here. So this is our current trip computer, how far we've driven, how long the vehicle's been running, and the average fuel consumption. And the instant fuel consumption is this line right here. Now, this will reset automatically when I shut the car off and turn it back on. But directly below that, if I use the little scroll wheel to drop it down one, I can see our trip computer since refueling. Now, obviously, this is inaccurate because the car is just sitting here running, so it's not going to get 14.7 liters per 100K. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that. And then I can also drop this. So every time I get gas, that will reset automatically. And if I drop it down again, this is just the overall consumption information, distance information. Obviously, again, ignore the average liters per 100K because that's going to be inaccurate because there's been just a lot of idling. And there we go. So that's reset now as well. Now, the way that I'm resetting is I'm holding this little scroll wheel down to reset it. So that's how you reset something in this instrument cluster computer. Now, pressing that top button takes us over to this screen here. There's nothing else in here to see, but if I hold the OK button, it'll take us to the drive settings. And then pressing it one more time shows us our tire pressure monitor. So as we start to drive, it'll show us pressures on the four corners of the vehicle. To the left of that, of course, is our speedometer, and to the right of that is our tachometer. So we have a little bit of analog indicator and a digital indicator of the speed of the engine. Below that is our temperature. On the far left, of course, is the fuel gauge. And then in this little screen, we have the speed that you're allowed to go. So it's actually capable of reading street signs and telling you what the speed limit is. It's kind of cool. So it doesn't have a navigation system. It does not get this data from nav. It gets this from speed sign reading. Currently, it is 8 degrees Celsius outside, and there's 34 kilometers on the vehicle. We're in park, and there's a 263 kilometers of estimated fuel range. Right here, it shows that our headlights are on and that our running lights are also on. All right, so next we're going to talk about the infotainment screen. So first off, on the top left-hand corner, this is our current profile. So we have basically three different profiles. There's guest, driver 1, and driver 2. So we're going to go ahead and switch to driver 2. Now, the different profiles, basically they control a number of things. They control the backlight screen level, like the screen brightness level. They control the climate control systems. They control the presets in the radio, as well as how the vehicle reacts to different circumstances in the different drive modes and safety modes and stuff like that. So it remembers all of that stuff per driver, which is kind of cool. And of course, if you have BlueLink set up, BlueLink, by the way, is free for 3 years in Canada. If you have BlueLink set up, it's also going to link to driver 1 so that when you remote start the car with BlueLink, it knows who's actually driving, which is kind of cool, and automatically sets their profile as the one that it starts up with. But other than that in here, so this is sort of the home screen. There's this section, and this section will start here. So if I tap this is the radio, of course. If I hit the FM thing, it's going to open up the radio screen. We have HD radio, which is cool. Interesting, the screen just changed color. Here's all of the radio stations that the car is currently pulling in. On the right-hand side here, you can see we've got our little mini screens, because there is sort of a split screen kind of thing. However, I believe you can actually remove this. Let me see here. Yeah, so you just grab it and slide it over, and now we just have basically the full radio screen, which is kind of cool. And we can switch to the different stations just by hitting here or by cycling through here. The stars are in case we want to have those as presets in the favorites section. So you can see those ones are there now. So here's our AM stations. It's going to look for all the stations available and then provide us with a list. And then we also have Sirius XM, as you can see. And it's going to give us a list of the stations that it can pull in, which of course with Sirius is all of them. And if we put on our favorites, going to the favorite screen now, it shows everything in there. So pretty simple, easy to use. And again, you can have it sort of split screen or not. Going back to the home screen here, phone is where of course you would, where you would see your contact list, previous calls, that sort of thing, where you can actually type out phone numbers. The only way that works is if you actually have a phone connected. So we're going to leave that for now. Phone projection, same sort of thing. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto needs to have that connected in order to function. If you'd like to know more about how either of those works, go onto my page, do a search for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and I've done full review videos on both of those technologies in case you want to learn how either one works. If I remember, I will put links to those in the description below. Valet mode, so if you hand the keys over to a valet, can't set it up right now because we need Blue Link for that to work, but if you hand the keys over to a valet, you can actually lock the car out so that they can't see any of your personal data. All right, and then vehicle diagnostics, again, uses Blue Link to show you what the status of the vehicle is in case there's some sort of an issue. Same with maintenance, that you can kind of go into to see maintenance reminders, that sort of thing. Notifications are part of Blue Link as well, so both of these things require Blue Link setup. Blue Link free for 3 years in Canada, I believe a year in the United States. The online manual, so all of the applications do have the option of bringing up a QR code that shows you a page on the manual that talks about said thing, which I'll show you in just a moment here, but this one is sort of for the whole manual, okay? So if I go into, let's see if I can use setup as an example here. I go to the menu, there we go, online manual. There's the QR code to find setup in the manual. All right, so that's pretty much it for the main home screen. So let's go into the setup screen and see what we can change here. So under vehicle, we have our driver assistance settings. So if I tap on one of these, brings up, okay, here's smart cruise control. We can change the distance that it follows, how quickly it reacts to changes in acceleration with the car in front of you, and how fast it actually speeds up to catch up to that car. So that's reaction and acceleration. We have our drive mode alerts, so we can change drive modes. Basically, there's 2 buttons down on the center console here that I can press to put it into normal, sport, or my drive. And my drive is a customizable drive setting, which is pretty cool. By the way, guys, while we're looking at this, I'm going to show you the backup camera. So I'm going to take just a moment out of the settings here because I forgot to cover this. But here's your backup camera. Nice clear image, dynamic steering lines. You can see the bumper along the bottom here. You can also change the direction of view straight down over the bumper or just make it full screen, which is kind of cool. Most people are going to prefer this one. And then you also have settings to change if you want the rear camera to be extended, if you want the parking lines on or not, or if you want to change the brightness and contrast. So that's that. Pretty cool. All right. So right here is where you can change the My Drive mode. So you can put it into sport powertrain, but normal steering, or smart powertrain and sport power steering. So you can really customize the drive mode, which is kind of cool. Under climate, you can see we have our automatic recirculate on windshield washer fluid use. We have automatic ventilation, which is cool. So it'll automatically dehumidify the air if it notices that it's getting a little bit too humid. You can even schedule ventilation, which kind of helps to keep the climate control nice and dry and clean. We have our auto defrost option here. We also have under climate settings, here's our air conditioner auto dry. So that actually does that for you automatically anyway. So I don't even need to set that up. Under seats, we have easy access seating. So you may have noticed where the seat was before. It actually was reclined all the way or reversed all the way back in order for it to get to be easy for me to get in and out of the car. You can turn it off or you can even extend it. You can change you can set the seat position alert so that when you change the seat, so if I go ahead and move the seat now, it's going to come up with that little diagram there to show me what it is I'm doing with the seat, including the lower back support. Pretty cool. Under lights, we can change our one-touch turn signal. We can enable and disable the welcome light. We can enable and disable the headlight delay, the high beam assistance, and the interior lights as well. Under door, we can turn on and off the 2-press unlock, the smart trunk, and even remote window control. So this is pretty cool. You can actually open up the windows by holding the unlock key on the key fob. And then under convenience, you see we have our rear occupant alert. So if any time the rear doors are open, it'll remind you to check the rear seats when you shut the car off. Here's also where we can change our service interval and our oil change reminder. All right, so under driving assistance, we didn't actually go through all of these different things. We went through driving convenience. So I'm going to show you, we got drive safety, forward autonomous emergency braking, warning timing. You can change the when it actually warns you if it's late or standard. Lane safety information, lane blind spot safety information, safe exit assist. This one's kind of cool. If you parallel park and go to open up the door, if there's a car coming down the road, it'll warn you. Pretty neat. Speed limit, you can actually set it to assist the speed limit, so it'll slow down if you're going over the speed limit, or just give you a slight little warning by changing the color of the speed limit on the signs to red. It's funny. Parking safety, you can see we've got rear cross traffic safety, provides warning and vehicle control when a risk of rear cross traffic collision is detected. So if you're backing out of a parking space and it sees a pedestrian or car about to pass behind you, it'll actually hit the brakes. So this is an example of what you can do in there. So that's the vehicle driver assistance, vehicle settings. We've kind of covered now all of these different things, but this is just kind of quick access to those different features. If I go into sound here, though, we have premium sound dependent volume control. So speed dependent volume control. So depending on how fast you're going, it'll increase or decrease the volume limit. The startup volume limit. So that's going to keep the volume low when you start the car in case the last person to drive had the volume cranked. We can change the position of the audio, the tone of the audio, of course, treble, mid-range, bass. We can change the guidance volume. The welcome sound is where here's where you can turn that on and off. You can eliminate radio noise for FM radio stations. And then driver assistance. So this is your warning tone. You also have haptic steering vibration. So if there's a warning coming up from the blind spot monitoring, for instance, you'll actually feel a little bit of a vibration in the steering wheel, which is kind of cool. And then you can also have the lane safety audible warning. Turn off lane safety audible warning even when both warning volume and haptic warning are on. So that's just, again, just more settings. You can literally turn everything on or off in this car. That's what I love about Hyundais. And then the volume for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay is there. Device connections, where you would connect your phone. And here you can see we have the ability to connect via wireless for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And you can even enable and disable the different things as well. The voice prompts, just when you hear plays a voice prompt to assist during Bluetooth. So when you pair a phone, it's just going to talk to you. Or not if you mute that. So it's amazing the things that you can disable in this car. User profile we've already talked about. Screen layout. Here we have cluster theme selection, so you can choose which instrument cluster theme you want. So that just changes the instrument cluster coloring. That's all it does. We can enable a clock so that when you turn the screen off, you get a clock, just like that. You can also configure the clock to do whatever you want it to do. Which one of these clocks do you like best? Split screen, you can have the compass come on in the little split screen window or not. And then let's see what else we got. Screen layout, display. So here's where you can adjust the display brightness. We can change the camera contents, which we've already looked at, and we can enable the blue light filter, which is cool. So at a set time, or when the exterior lighting goes down, it'll actually filter out some blue light for you. Here's where the button control is. Now we've already kind of set these up, so we're going to back out of here, and under cluster, again, you can go to cluster theme selection here if you want, but we were already looking at that. But you can also enable and disable the wiper and lights display, and you can also turn on and off the welcome sound here. Blue Link is just where you can see the Blue Link mode information. You can also activate Blue Link from here, but we recommend you have your salesperson do that. And then under General is where you can see you can do software updates. Over-the-air updates will be made available in Canada eventually, but they're just not available yet. This is also, of course, where you can change your kilometers to miles, Celsius to Fahrenheit, kilometers per liter to liters per 100 kilometers. And also, if you need to set or enable or disable daylight savings time, that's in there as well. And that's pretty much everything. I know it's a bit of a longer video, but there's a lot to talk about on these cars. If this video helped you out at all, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad I could help. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Thanks so much. Have a great day.